Today's class we will be discussing about our module 5, and that the first topic is of about Faraday's law. We came to know that from then current we can generate the magnetic field, but Faraday did the experiment to get a magnetic field from instead of from the current to the magnetic field, from the magnetic field a current movement. How it is possible, those things learned by the Faraday. Based on that, here taken the laws, how he experimented his ways to find out how a magnetic field can be generated, a current. Okay. After Oersted demonstration in 1820, the electric current affected by the compass needle, the Faraday proposed his belief that if the current could produce a magnetic field, then a magnetic field should able to produce a current. The concept of field was not available in that time, and Faraday's goal was to show that the current could be produced by the magnetism. This is what he proposed a theory. Then he worked on this based on this problem intermittently over a period of 10 years until he was finally succeed in the 1831. He could do separate windings. He wound two separate windings on an iron toroid and placed in a galvanometer in one circuit and battery in the another. He did one small setup to study the property. Then upon closing the battery circuit, he noted that a deflection is going to be occurred in the galvanometer, and a similar deflection in the opposite direction occurred when battery was disconnected. When battery was connected, when it is disconnected for that circuitry, he observed that some deflection are going to be occurring due to the in the galvanometer. And this is the first experiment he made involving, that is, a changing magnetic field, and he followed it with the demonstration that either a moving magnetic field or else a moving coil could also produce a galvanometer deflection. A moving coil should be there or else a moving magnetic field. Due to this, a deflection is going to be occur. He observed this phenomenon by his experiment. Then, in terms of fields, the time varying magnetic field produces we already now come to know that it is going to produce a electromotive force, that is EMF, which may establish a current in a suitable closed circuit. An electromotive force is merely a voltage that rises from conductors moving in a magnetic field or from changing magnetic fields. Electromotive force is going to be occurring due to the change in the magnetic field, or else the movement in the magnetic field going to be occurring. Then the Faraday's laws is stated that EMF is going to be equals to minus D. This is, we can write as psi, there is a flux, or else you can write as pi also. In a different textbook, they will be referring different terms. In this, here they are taken as d pi by dt in terms of volt. From the equation, it is indicating that the closed path, although not necessarily the closed conducting path only, any of the closed path. For example, it might be including a capacitor, or it might be a purely imaginary line in the space. The magnetic flux is that flux which passes through any and every surface whose perimeter is the closed path, and d pi by dt is the time rate of change of this flux. What it is going to be telling, the magnetic flux is that the flux passes through the any closed path, any surface in the closed path. That is how much the change is going to be. It's going to change with respect to d pi by dt times the rate change of this flux. Then a non-zero value of d pi by dt may result from any of the following situation, so that you should get some values. Then a time changing flux linking a stationary closed path, means time changing flux. With respect to time, a flux is going to be changing, linking to the stationary closed path, or else relative motion between a steady flux and a closed path, a movement between of a flux, then a combination of both. It may have both stationary and also the movement of any of the parameter. Then the minus sign indication in the equation, the minus sign indicating that EMF is in such a direction as to produce a current whose flux, if added to the original flux, current flux, if it is added to the original flux, would reduce the magnitude of the EMF. For that reason, this minus sign is indicating for us. Then this statement, that is induced voltage acts to produce an opposing flux, is known as the Lenz's law. Means the voltage induced is going to produce an opposite flux. That's what the minus sign. Opposite flux is given by the person, that is Lenz. For a reason, the name given as a Lenz's law. Then if the closed path that taken by the n-turn filamentary conductor, if it is taken as n-turn conductor, then it is often sufficiently accurate to consider the turns as a coincident, and let then EMF is going to be minus n time dy by dt, with considering of the number of turns also, where pi is now interrupted as flux passing through any one of the n coincident paths, means number of turns. Based on number of turns, it may pass through all the number of turns, how many turns you are going to be taking for the conductor. Then we need to define EMF, equation 1, or you can use of equation 2. The EMF is obviously a scalar quantity, and a dimensional check shows that it's measured in terms of a volts. Therefore, the EMF can be defined as EMF is equals to closed integral E into E dot dl with the displacement. Then the voltage about a specific closed path. This voltage about a specific closed path, for the reason it is a closed integral. If any part of the path is changed, if any changes is going to be occurring, then generally EMF is also going to be changing. Then departure from static result is clearly by the equation 3. For electric field intensity resulting from static charge distribution, must lead to zero potential difference about the closed path. Electric field intensity resulting from static charge distribution must lead to a zero potential difference about the closed path. Then in electrostatics, the line integral leads to a potential difference. Line integral leads to a potential difference with time varying fields, and the result is an EMF or else a voltage. What is the difference? What is the potential difference that gives you a EMF or a voltage? Then replacing pi in equation 1 by surface integral, then therefore equation is going to be EMF is going to be equals to integration closed path E dot dl is equals to minus d by dt, changing for this closed integral with surface b dot ds, where the fingers of our right hand indicate the direction of the closed path, and our thumb, the right hand thumb rule, what we are going to be the indicating the closed path, how our fingers will be, all will be in the closed path, and the thumb indicates the direction of our surface where it is going to be. That is about ds. The flux density, here it is taken as B. You can, in the previous case, we referred as D also. you can take as D or else in terms of a B also. The flux density B in the direction of a ds and increasing with the time, and it is going to be increasing with respect to time, thus produces a average value of intensity, that is E, which opposite to the opposite direction about the closed path, opposite to the opposite direction. Then the right hand relationship between the surface integral and the closed integral is shown in figure in the equation 4 should always kept in mind during the flux integration and the EMF determination. This one point you have to keep in mind. Then we will take two conditions here. The first is taken as the first, finding the contribution to the total EMF made by the changing field within a stationary path. Here we are going to be taking a stationary path, transformer, EMF, and then we considering a moving path with a constant or as a motivational generator, that EMF. One is stationary path and another is of a moving path. Then first we consider of that stationary path, then the magnetic flux is the only time varying. Magnetic flux is only time varying quantity on the right side of the equation 4. Right side of the equation 4. Then and the partial derivative may taken under integral is going to be EMF is going to be equals to closed integration E dot dl, that is going to be changing here, minus integration a partial derivative, that is dou b divided by dou t dot ds. Then obtain a point form of this integral equation by using of the Stokes theorem to closed integral. Then equation is going to be changing del cross E dot ds, that is going to be equals to minus integration with respect to surface dou b divided by dou t into dot ds. Then where the surface integral may taken over identical surface and the surface are perfectly general and may be chosen as a differential. This integration is going to go off, then remaining part is going to be del cross E dot ds is going to be equals to minus dou b divided by dou t dot ds, and ds will cancel off. Then we will left with del cross E is equals to dou b flux density divided by dou t. Then this equation what we got is one of the Maxwell's 4 equations written in a differential or in terms of a point form. The form which is they are most generally is going to be used. Then equation 5, this equation is the integral form of this equation, and it is equivalent to the Faraday's laws as applied to the fixed path. If B is not a function of time, if B is flux density is not a function of time, then the equation is going to be integration E dot dl is going to be equals to 0 in the electrostatics, and our del cross E is also going to be equals to 0 in terms of our electrotime. Then the equation 5 and 6, these two equations 5 and 6, let us assume simple magnetic field which increases exponentially with time within a cylindrical region, that is rho is less than B. Then flux density is going to be B is equals to B naught e raised to kt into Az. Therefore, where B naught is a constant, choosing circular path, that is rho is going to be equals to A and A is less than B based on this condition only. Again applying here in the Z is equals to 0 plane. Z is equal to 0 means xy will be varying there. Along with E pi must be a constant by symmetry. Then equation is going to be changing as EMF is going to be equals to 2 pi A E pi, that is equals to minus K B naught. Here it is going to be changing e raised to kt pi into A square. EMF around this closed path is going to be minus K B naught e raised to kt pi A square. This proportional to the A square, because the magnetic flux density is uniform and the flux passing through the surface at any instant is proportional to the area. Due to this, it is going to be proportional to the A square. If we now replace A by rho, and rho is less than B, then electric field intensity is going to be minus 1 by 2 K B naught e raised to KT rho into A pi. Now we'll take this equation and substitute in equation 6. Therefore, del cross E for Z is equal to 0, then that is going to be equals to minus K B naught e raised to KT. That is nothing but 1 by rho dou rho A pi divided by dou rho, then multiplying by rho and integrating with from 0 to rho, then T as a constant. Therefore, you will be getting the equation as minus 1 by 2 K B naught e raised to KT rho square. That is going to be equals to rho into E pi. Rho, 1 rho get cancels. Therefore, E is going to be equals to minus 1 by 2 K B naught e raised to KT rho into A pi. This is what you will be getting the equation. Almost we got the same equation. If B naught is considered a positive, a filamentary conductor of resistance R would have the current flowing in the negative A pi direction. Current will flow in a reverse direction, and this current would establish a flux within the circular loop in the negative AZ direction. In the AZ direction, since A pi increases exponentially with the time, the current and flux do also going to be increasing. Thus tends to be reduce the time rate of increase of the applied flux and the resultant EMF accordance with the Lenz law. What we taken the previously, the same thing is going to be happening here. Then it is well to point out that given field does not satisfy all Maxwell's equations. Such fields are often assumed and cause no difficulty when they interpreted properly. Then they occasionally cause some surprises when it's going to be changing based on the equations. Now we'll consider with the in the first case stationary field. Next we'll take with the moving field, considering the case of time constant flux and a moving closed path. Now it is taken closed path is going to be moving. Then any special results from Faraday's laws, the first equation what we got. Let us use the basic law of analysis of specific problem. Here figure it is taken here, a voltmeter connected. An example, a Faraday's laws, to case of constant magnetic flux density, that is B, and here a moving path, a shorting bar, this is a shorting bar, moves to the right with the velocity V. With velocity V, it's moving. Here it is. This movement will be there. And circuit is completed through the two rails and an extremely small high resistance voltmeter. Here voltmeter is connected. The voltmeter reading is V12 is going to be equals to minus BVD. Based on this experimental setup, a closed circuit consists of two parallel conductors. Here, this one and this two, X and Y. Two parallel conductors which are connected at one end by the high resistance voltmeter of negligible dimensions and at the other end by sliding bar. Other end is this one is a sliding bar. It's moving at a velocity of V. Then a magnetic flux density B is constant. In this case, B is going to be a constant in space and time and is normal to the plane containing a closed path. It's normal to the plane containing a closed path. Then let the portion of the shorting bar be given by y, and flux passing through the surface within a closed path with time t is pi is going to be equals to b in y direction, in this direction, by d. Then from equation 1, VMF is going to be d pi by dt. Therefore, that is equals to minus b dy divided by dt of d. That is going to be, I can write here as, this is in terms of velocity. Therefore, minus b v into d. Then EMF is defined as integration E dot dl. We have a conducting path, so we can actually determine the E at every point along the closed path. Electrostatics, that tangential component of E is 0. This we already come across at the surface of the conductor. Then the tangential component is 0 at surface if of a perfect conductor, that is rho is going to be, for perfect conductors it will be infinity for all time varying conditions. This is equivalent to saying that the perfect conductor is of a short circuit. This is very important. It is of a perfect conductor. Then the entire closed path may be considered as a perfect conductor. The whole circuit what is taken, it is of a perfect conductor. Then with the exception of the voltmeter, the actual computation of integration the closed path E dot dl then must involve no contribution along the entire moving bar. It is not going to be taking the whole movement of the bar. Then both rails and the voltmeter going to be leads. Since we are integrating in the counterclockwise direction, keeping that interior of the positive side of the surface on our left as usual, the contribution of E with the differentiation length L across the voltmeter must be minus B Vd, showing that electric field intensity in the instrument is directed from terminal 2 to terminal 1, terminal 2 to terminal 1 in this case. Then for an upscale reading, the positive terminal of the voltmeter should therefore be at terminal 2. The direction of the resultant, a small current flow may be confirmed by noting that the enclosed flux is going to be reduced by the clockwise current in accordance with the Lenz's law. Then the voltmeter terminal 2 is again seen to be positive terminal. Again, it's going to be a positive terminal. Now, consider with an example using concept of motional EMF, the force on charge Q moving at a velocity v in the magnetic field B, then F is going to be equals to Q into V into density, flux density, that is B. Therefore, F divided by Q is going to be equals to V into B. The sliding conducting bar is composed with the positive and negative charges, and each experiences this force, whether it is of positive charge or negative charge. The force per unit charge is given by, is called equation 10, and it is called going to be a motional electric field intensity, that is EM. EM is going to be now equals to V into B. Then if the moving conductor were lifted off the rails, moving conductor, if it's taken away, this electric field intensity would force the electrons to one end of the bar until a static field due to these charges just going to be a balanced the field induced by the motion of the bar. Then the resultant tangential electric field intensity would going to be 0 along the length of the bar. The motional EMF produced by the moving conductor is then EMF is going to be equals to integration closed EM dot dl is going to be equals to integration of the this here it is going to be changing V cross B dot dl, where the last integral may have a non-zero value only along the portion of the path which is in the motion, or v has some non-zero value. Then equating based on this equation, I can EMF equation I can change here as integration v cross d dot dl is going to be equals to integration d to 0 v b dx in the x direction, that is going to be equals to minus b vd. This is the total EMF since b is not in the function of time. Then in case of the conductors moving in a uniform constant magnetic field, considering here it as a uniform magnetic field, we may therefore motivational electric field intensity EM is going to be V cross B to every portion of the moving conductor, and evaluating the resultant EMF is going to be EMF is equals to integration closed integration E dot dl is going to be integration closed with EM dot dl moving, then that is going to be equals to integrate closed integration V cross B dot dl. If the magnetic flux density is also changing with time, then both include both the contributions of transformer EMF and also about the motional EMF. Both you have to consider. Then EMF is going to be integration E dot dl is going to be equals to, it should have both stationary and also of the motional. Therefore, minus integration surface dou B by dt dot ds plus integration V cross B dl, where it is consisting of the both. This expression is almost equals to the EMF, that is going to be minus d pi by dt. Then equation 1, what it is going to be taken, there is few controlled examples in which a proper application is quite difficult to guess, in which the flux is going to be generating. Therefore, these usually involve a sliding contact RSA switches. Sliding contact RSA switches, they always involve a substitution of one part of the circuit by a new part. For example, here figure it is given. Here voltmeter, this is a sliding part, a switch. This is our magnetic field. It's going to be flux linkages does not lead to an induced voltage when one part of the circuit is simply substituted for another by opening the switch. No indication will be observed on the voltmeter. Based on the switch, how the movement of the current is going to be flowing through the circuit, we can analyze that. Then containing a several perfectly conducting wires and ideal voltmeter, a uniform constant field B, and a switch is connected as shown in the figure. In this case, then when a switch is open, there is obviously more flux enclosed in the voltmeter circuit. However, it continues to read 0, and the change in flux has not been produced by either the time changing B or else a conductor movement through the magnetic field. Instead, a new circuit has been substituted for the old one. What is the external circuit if it is added? Thus, it is necessary to use care in evaluating the change in the flux linkage to that new circuit. The separation of the EMF into the two parts indicated by equation 14, this one due to the time rate of change of with the flux density B, and the other is of the motion of the circuit, is something what we are going to be changing arbitrarily, with it depends on the relative velocity of the observer and the system. It depends on the in which speed it is moving. Then a field that is changing with both time and also the space may look constant to an observer moving with the field. If the person is also moving, it will be looks like a constant one. This line of reasoning is developed more fully in applying some special theories of relative to the electromagnetic theory. This is about a Faraday's law. This is very important, and this will be asking for 6 marks.